low risk idea is literally that. It's an idea that you basically the risk is super low, but the reward is also super low. So t-shirts, sweaters, hoodies, like stuff that are super small and definitely very common, but which are still worthy putting your time into. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they're not worth putting your time into. Trust me, because I start off at t-shirts. And then high risk ideas are things that cost a lot and the risk is super high, but if it does work out, the reward is also very high. Because at this point, for us now, technically, this is not no longer a high risk idea because it worked. You know what I'm saying? But once you're starting off, like when I was starting off with t-shirts and I decided I'm gonna make a dang bag, that was actually bonkers. But that's a risk I had to take to see if it would work. But in the beginning of my journey, I started with t-shirts. I made a lot of my friends know, Denisian knows, Spence knows, you know what I'm saying? They know. I started with t-shirts. My t-shirts were like this like bad company t-shirt design. It was pretty cool. People liked it. It was about like peer pressure and stuff like that. It was really cool. But the more I started doing t-shirts, I realized that there's only so much I can do and get away with doing t-shirts. And then of course I went into hoodies and stuff like that. But then I started like to think about how the risk and the cost, it just didn't make any sense for me. And then slowly from there, I started moving into accessories because that just made more sense in my head in terms of like the cost and what you're putting in. But it still was low risk ideas. I was doing pillows, I was doing keychains and stuff like that. And those things worked. Like, don't get me wrong, they worked for the moment. And they worked for what I was going forward to and going for. But as you find who you are and find your voice in your industry or in your lane or in your designs or whatever you decide to do within fashion, it comes a point in time where you have to challenge yourself and or bet on an idea that you have that is seemingly crazy, seemingly out of your reach. But if you don't do it, it's really hard for you to expand and to go forward or to really make any revolutionary change in the industry, if you get what I'm saying. And it's also very popular. I know people who still do t-shirts to this day and they're doing really good. They're really, really, really well off. But what I'm speaking on now and speaking of now is more so utilizing the vision beyond just monetary standpoint. But for me, in the beginning, like I said, my low risk ideas or my low risk ideas were t-shirts or hoodies or hats. And as I start going into manufacturing, that's where it starts to like slowly but surely increase because now you're not dealing with people that you know or people who screenshot your t-shirts for you. You're now dealing with people overseas who get your samples wrong, who don't understand your language, who send you bad product, who just do a lot of crazy things, and that in itself, it puts you in a position of, what's the word? It just puts you in a problematic situation where you have to figure it out for yourself and figure out if it's worth it for you or not. And eventually, from me passing and going from hats and the scarves and like from more manufactured goods, I went into jewelry and I started making jewelry. I started making necklaces. I started making earrings. And after my pop-up in 2020, I realized that I felt like it was time to take a risk on something that was bigger and something that I felt would take me from different price points. Because my price point before that was like maybe $100 on a hoodie, and that's it. And that is a lot, but in comparison to what we're doing now, is not that much. But you have to be willing to take those risks on your high ideas and those really, really, really crazy ideas if you really want to reap the rewards and benefits that comes with those things. You don't become Louis Vuitton by just selling t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? And like I'm saying, there's nothing wrong with selling t-shirts. Do not take me wrong. Do not take me wrong, live stream. All y'all do not take me wrong. But you have to put yourself in a mindset and a mind state of understanding what you want and if you want more. If you're and that's why I asked you what are you doing it for, what do you want, because once you realize what you want, it helps you decide where you're staying in your lane. If you want to be Louis Vuitton, your dreams are to be off-white and those things, you have to expand that and you have to live like big up yourself on those things and on those principles.